organizations have realized that delaying their digital transformation plans puts them at greater risk of obsolescence. This webinar today is aimed at highlighting how smarter devices can enable industrial enterprises with new opportunities to optimize their operations, create new offerings, and enhance customer experience. They can act as a source of revenue growth or help improve productivity. The webinar will deliberate about few different smarter services and a framework that can also act as a lighthouse for choosing the right use case. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I would first welcome Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, Chairperson, Consultants Network Affinity, CNA Group, and former chairperson of IEEE Delhi section. I would now request Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, sir, to commence the session with this welcome address.
Good evening, everybody, whoever present in the panel, as well as others who have all assembled to listen to the speakers. Very timely topics we have got in this series itself. If I'm not wrong, this must be the 62nd webinar of us, jointly held in the platform of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Computer Applications and Management. Now, the issue is smarter devices. We are accustomed to listen to software, hardware, applications in the digital era, together with business. Already, Ritika has talked about from the entrepreneur's point of view, as well as from the customer's point of view, the satisfaction, services, everything is definitely important. How they will be amalgamated and take care of each other, basically on the aspects of the smarter devices. Let me see actually what he's talked about through software as well as hardware to take care of the business resilience. Maybe additional word, I can use it here for seeing the robustness of the total system also. We will be expecting from the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now welcome amongst us our speakers for today's webinar. We are privileged to have amongst us Mr. Umang Garg, Managing Director, Global Practice Leader, Nagaro. Umang sir is currently working as Managing Director and Global Practice Leader with Nagaro. As the Global Practice Leader, his mission is to enable customers to leverage next generation industry revolution. He is also passionate about creating an impact through his demonstrated expertise in products, business, teams, as well as global teams. To enhance the session today, we welcome Umang sir, and along with Umang sir, we have Ms. Yuvika Singh, Associate Principal Consultant Nagaro, and Mr. Santosh Joshi, Principal Engineer Nagaro. We are privileged to have you all amongst us. You have taken out times from your busy schedule and joined us today for this event. So thank you so much, all of you. I welcome you all today to this session, and I would now request Umang sir to kindly enlighten the house. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and a very good evening to everybody. Let me share my screen as we start the discussion today. Dr. Vasan, just a quick check. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Excellent. So, friends, colleagues, participants, the topic today is smarter devices as a catalyst for business resilience. Thank you for having us. The agenda that we would like to pursue in this discussion in the next 1 hour is a very short introduction, maybe just 2-minute introduction about Nagaro. We will talk about a little bit about connected enterprise and how Industry 4.0, the next generation industrial revolution, is enabling connected enterprise. And within this connected enterprise, how business resilience is making a new world. We'll talk about connected worker and the workforce resilience, which is becoming extremely important in today's volatile and uncertain world. We work a lot on connected worker topics, not since yesterday, but over the last many, many years. And as a part of our journey, we will show to you a few very interesting use cases that we have developed. One particular use case that we would like to go deeper today is around inspection and audits of how industrial inspections and audits can be transformed and made more resilient with some of the newer generation smarter devices. And finally, while everything is great in theory, the proof of the pudding is to see something working. So we have an excellent demonstration to show to everybody in this forum, a demonstration of how smarter devices are helping in audit and inspections. With that, I take us through to the first part of a short introduction about Nagarro. Nagarro is a digital engineering company founded in 1996. We are listed on the German Stock Exchange since 2020. Today, we are among the 30 largest technology companies in Germany. We service more than 750 clients in 50 countries. We have 27 operations in 27 countries and a rapidly growing team, which today is about 13,000 team members. Our mission statement is to create a configurable and entrepreneurial organization which is working virtually around the world. Today, in this day of pandemic, this virtual global organization is a need of the hour. But we've been in this journey for more than 25 years, creating resilience within our business and with the businesses of our clients. We try and ensure that we work at the cutting edge of technology to bring technology into clients' business in a way which is creating a collaboration with our client, our partners, and other enterprises. I take this next part as an introduction into connected enterprise. Classically, Industry 4.0 has often been considered as focused on a smarter factory. What we have realized in our journey with working with our clients that Industry 4.0 is not just limited to creating smart factories, but also enabling workers who work in those factories. These workers could be blue collar workers, or they are also white collar workers or gray collar workers, creating new services that can help in creating new growth, helping in better satisfaction within the employees or with customers or partners, ensuring how the customers are connected with each other and with the products that you are creating in your company. So with these 5 dimensions of a connected enterprise, what we typically find is data often is the common thread that connects with different parts of the enterprise. Data which helps in creating insights, helps in prediction, helps in creating intelligence. And of course, in certain cases, you have autonomous behavior through that data. Now, data could be near real time, or static. And irrespective of how that data comes in, IoT plays a big role. And we have a very strong presence in this. And when we start thinking about data in IoT, it's obvious that you need to think about sensors and connectivity and security. You want to think about where is that data going to be processed? Is it on the edge or on cloud? How do you connect that data with the various enterprise software that you might have? What type of insights will you take from that data through either data analytics or AI? How will you show that data? Whether it's on your laptop, mobile phone, or wearables. Today, you will see and interaction of the data with variables. What type of a user experience that you would need when you are wearing some of these and using some of these smart devices? And what role will bots have in this? In some ways, in some ways, Industry 4.0 is creating a very step change function towards the role of a worker. From just being a worker, workers will become and transform into connected workers. There is another angle to this, which is across driven by some of the global challenges that we face today, which is around business resilience. You want to think about business resilience in the context of connected enterprise and how these enterprises then want to bring business resilience into supply chain resilience to ensure that their supply chains, which may be globally distributed, are resilient to various types of changes that we may be having around us. In the context of India, we've seen this to be a top priority for bringing in supply chain resilience. There is an element of workforce resilience. People are working from home, people are working from everywhere. Sometimes people cannot travel. So, how do you ensure workforce resilience in such a dynamic scenario? Digital resilience. Dr. Vasan was in the introduction talking about how digital transformation is extremely important. But it is not just digital transformation that is important. You also have to be digitally resilient to rapid changes that are happening. What type of products are you creating that are resilient to various types of demands from your customers? And then your customers are obviously changing. You might think a particular demography as a customer, but then you want to expand your customer base. Your customers might need new features and new capabilities. And finally, there is this element about manufacturing resilience. As the devices, as the products become more and more complex, and the machines become more complex and interconnected, and the workers become more skilled, how do you bring resilience into the manufacturing to reduce waste, to reduce errors, to improve the environment and social responsibilities that comes with a good enterprise? And as we think about this, well, 6 years back, we started on a journey called Connected Worker. And today it is extremely relevant in the context of workforce resilience. So, what is a connected worker? The three parts to a connected worker. What's the device that the worker is using? What type of data is that worker using or generating? And what are the decisions with that data that the worker is able to take? So basically, device, data, and decision. Now, what could be that device be? As we might think, today these devices are becoming wearable devices. You will see some of them today. Of course, we all have mobile. So there are devices like mobile, which are rapidly available to workers, to us, to everybody around us, both in our personal lives and in business. There are sensors that you could have on workers, helping them in their health and safety, especially for workers who are perhaps in hazardous industries. And then when you start thinking about data, you have to think about what role does that worker have? So which type of data would they need? Where is that data stored? And where it is stored, is it secure? What type of information will that data give us? Now, you could have any number of devices and data, but this is meaningless unless you can take some important decisions, whether these decisions are through insights that you create, through predictions that this data might give you, or you are using techniques such as artificial intelligence to create this type of decisions. The motivations for a connected worker are, of course, improvement in productivity. We have typically seen anything from 25% to 50% productivity improvements with such solutions. Health and safety. How do you become more responsible and more responsive to the health and safety of the workers? in different types of industries? How do you leverage technology that is rapidly becoming available and at affordable prices? So, what are the things that a connected worker solutions could be about? I have mentioned 9 classes of use cases here, which cover different parts of the value chain. Let's take a very quick look at that. First, product design. Second, in assembly and manufacturing. Third, in field service management. Fourth, in operating complex equipment. Fifth, inspection, audit, and quality assurance. Sixth, in material handling. In sales and marketing. Eighth, in training. Ninth, in health and safety. In these 9 buckets, there are then multiple sub-use cases which are available, which will help you. For example, if we were to think about assembly and manufacturing, imagine creating custom products. A car, we live in a world where every car looks the same. But as we increasingly move into a world where you can start customizing your vehicle, workers will need to know what type of a color you want, not just 5 colors that that particular car gives, but maybe out of one of the 500 colors. What type of a seat do you want? And many other configurations that might be there. So how do you provide that information to workers effectively and quickly? How do you disseminate that data on the shop floor? And when the workers need help, how do you provide them help quickly, which will help them reduce errors, improve productivity? Similarly, when we think of inspection, audit, and QA, or quality assurance, what we are thinking of is how can I standardize my inspection and audit and quality assurance process by using a checklist. So whether it is a worker X or a worker Y, they are both able to do the same work with the same level of diligence. How can they show evidence that they have done the work so that from compliance perspective, you can say the work has completed? And how can that verification include not just uh, textual data, but also images and videos? This, of course, improves process efficiency and compliance accuracy besides improving productivity. There are today many devices which are playing a role in this space of connected worker. I'll make a brief mention about what are the 4 broad categories that we see. The first and foremost is what we call as assisted reality. These are often smart glasses. They look very similar to the glasses that you and I wear in our prescription glass. And the interesting thing about assisted reality is that while you're wearing these devices, you can also see everything around you. So they are aligned to the real world and they display context sensitive information on your device. A second type of devices or technology is around augmented reality. So for those of us who are following up Microsoft Mesh or Metaverse, you would already now getting familiar with augmented and virtual reality. This could be available to you on your mobile phone or on devices like Microsoft HoloLens. And in this particular technology, these devices are helping create virtual objects in your real world. Imagine you are sitting in your drawing room and you are able to create a turbine or a car on the table in front of you. You are not going anywhere. And you can then engage with other people around the world on that digital object and work collaboratively. The third type of technology or devices that are coming into play is around virtual reality. This technology has been there for more than 40 years. Fighter pilots have been using it to get trained. Aviation pilots have been using this to get trained on how to fly planes. Today, this technology has become extremely affordable, largely because of the gaming industry. And slowly, this is also becoming extremely relevant to industrial, manufacturing, and other industries. Devices from HTC or Oculus, which is of course from Facebook, are extremely popular here. And within this technology, you create a virtual world and your avatar or avatar of an object or a person is inside that virtual world interacting with various types of situations. And finally, you could have a whole range of other types of smart devices, which could include tablets and mobile phones, fixed cameras, and of course, drones. As we go through this journey of different types of devices, it often is confusing what type of use case should I use for which device. And there, we've created a variety of frameworks which help identify what type of technology is right. There is no easy answer, but there are a variety of parameters that can be used to evaluate. For example, what level of immersion do you want? Do you want to be able to touch the object? Do you want to be able to engage with that object? What type of collaboration do you want? Do you just want a two-dimensional video collaboration? Or do you want to be able to shake hands with another person in another part of the world by meeting them virtually? What is the usability? Do you want ease of usability or learnability, or are you willing to spend some time learning how to use that product? What about the cost? Devices are today coming in which cost anything from 400 US dollars, which is roughly 30,000 Indian rupees, all the way to 10,000 US dollars, which is roughly 7.5 lakh Indian rupees. What type of ecosystem do you prefer? Are you going to create your own applications? Or do you want an ecosystem through which you can download applications and start using? What's the technology maturity in terms of hardware and software? Is the hardware mature enough that you can run the use case that you have in for your work easily? Can the software be developed easily? And very importantly, how can you industrialize that? So what that means is not just in a lab, not just with one, two, or four people, but how can hundreds and thousands of your team members and employees use it? So with frameworks like this, it becomes very easy when we are thinking about variety of use cases that we work with our clients to identify which one of these technologies would be best beneficial to them. Today, our focus of discussion among all the use cases that we have is on one specific use case, which is around inspection, audit, and quality assurance. In every industry, if you want to ensure a high product quality, a high service quality, there is a process of inspection and audit and quality assurance. Often this process is paper driven. Often this process is standardized uh, in by a set of instructions that people follow. But it's also cumbersome when you start having a paper-driven process that's very difficult to adjust. Maybe if you are creating only one product, it's easy. But as soon as you start thinking about customizations that your clients or customers or end users might want, your inspection process needs to be adaptable. So how can you have an inspection process which is checklist driven, helps you gather evidence and data from compliance perspective, which could also be whether it's in video or image format, allows you variety of other features that you are able to connect to various experts around the world quickly if you are in doubt. How can you achieve all this but while improving your process efficiency and compliance accuracy? In the rest of the presentation, we will take you through that. And I'll invite my colleague Yuvika to talk about this while I show the presentation continue to show the presentation.
Thank you so much, Amang. All right, so CAP, or as we call it, Connected Audit and Inspection Platform. That's the solution that we have built to, enable this experience for our industrial workers. Now, today in the industry, there are a lot of challenges that usually the entire workforce, not just the inspector or the auditor, the entire workforce faces, primarily around, those processes that they follow. They are non-standardized, they are prone to error, and they're extremely time consuming and requires a lot of administrative activities, primarily because they are paper-based. They follow a paper-based approach to conduct the inspections and perform the maintenance tasks. Apart from that, they are also extremely dependent on skilled laborers, like whether it is the expert who is guiding the inspector. So they require a lot of hand-holding or guidance while they are on field. And this often leads to a lot of challenges in terms of the expert, availability at the site, and traveling to remote locations may not be a feasible or a viable option always for organizations, as it incurs cost and it also impacts the productive hours of the workforce. Apart from that, maintaining a paper or tracking a paper-based audit trail is extremely time consuming. And again, the traceability is always impacted because of it having a paper-based approach. And finally, training of new inspectors on complex inspections and quality check processes is a very cumbersome task, especially in today's time and world. Now, to address all of these challenges, we thought of and devised this solution that we call CAP, or Connected Audit and Inspection Platform. And it touches upon all of these pain points of an industrial organization, from enabling standardization in the processes, and digitalizing the entire inspection and audit work stream, enabling a step-by-step instruction workflow on the device while they are on field, so that they can conduct the inspection in a hands-free manner without having to probably go through a manual, or some documentation. Apart from that, we are also enable real-time collaboration. It's a video-based collaboration that we enable for the inspector, who can seek guidance while the inspector is on field through a video calling feature, along with some value-added features on top of the video call. You can also create extremely complex and comprehensive audit reports to maintain the digital evidences and the audit trail, all in a digital manner. And the entire video call that you are conducting with the expert, that can all be recorded and stored as a training manual or a training video, which new inspectors or new inspectors that are getting onboarded can refer to as a training document. So that's how we are enabling. Yeah, next. Thank you so much, Amma. And in terms of the key features that we offer on CAP, we enable a dynamic checklist and a multi-tier checklist creation facility. Apart from just having the entire workflow also integrated, we provide provisions to either import a checklist or manually create a checklist, the inspection checklist that you're going to use while you're on site. The remote collaboration feature is also included as part of one of the key capabilities that we offer. Maintaining the traceability, so you can capture evidences in multimedia format, whether it is audio, video, image, etc. And new user onboarding, it becomes a very easy task because you can configure roles, you can create user profiles, organizations, etc. So all of this is plugged into the entire solution. It is easily configurable and adaptable, the solution that we have created. So if an organization only requires certain features, we can enable that for any company that is looking to digitalize their inspection process. And last but not the least, we enable integration with any of the existing ERP and enterprise software solutions. So you can easily integrate it with any software, either by REST APIs, etc. And on the technology side, there are very important features, as Umang already mentioned. that the solution that we have built, it is portable on smart glass or any other mobile devices, as well as on web applications. So it works on multiple form factors. It is multiple cloud compatible. Currently, we have built it on Google Cloud Platform, but it can easily be ported to other cloud platforms as well, depending on the requirement. It also supports multi-tenancy. So we have enabled this feature in our solution as well, that you can share the resources with no additional cost for your organization. Multimedia formats are supported, as I had already mentioned, that we can capture evidences while you're on field in form of image, text, audio, as well as video. And it's a scalable PaaS-based platform and enables runtime scalability as well. Moving on to the next slide. Now, in terms of the advantages that CAP offers, advantages of CAP are multifold. It's primarily from a workforce perspective. You can enhance the productivity and increase the productivity of your workforce even up to by 30% by moving from a paper-based to a digital workflow. The quality of your inspection is enhanced and increased because you're reducing the errors as you're following a guided step-by-step process across the workflow. There is a consistency that we are bringing about by standardizing the entire inspection and audit process for organizations who choose to opt for CAP. And efficiency is also enabled by enabling features like real-time collaboration, providing information and data on demand. So while the inspector is on field, we have features like the expert can share PDF documents, instructions in real time with the inspector who's on field. So it is a very effective way of working while you're conducting the inspection. And you have enabled accelerated time to market because the solution is already integrated and it's pre-built. So tomorrow, if an organization wishes to use it as it is, there are just minor configurations that we need to do and we can roll it out for any company. So moving on to the next slide. So this is the workflow, end-to-end workflow or a user journey of the actors who are involved on the CAP application. So we have Ritu, who is the administrator. So she is primarily responsible for creating those checklist documents, multi-tier checklist documents, as I mentioned. So if in case there are any fields that you need to add, so this kind of configuration will be done by Ritu. She'll also be assigning the inspection once it is ready, once the document is ready, she'll be assigning it to the inspector and generating or creating a work order for the inspector to conduct that inspection. John is our inspector who will be on field and he'll have one of these devices or a mobile device available with him to conduct the inspection. And essentially, he'll log into the CAP application or CAP solution on the preferred device, whether it is mobile, tablet, or smart glass. He'll conduct the inspection. He'll be seeing a step-by-step workflow on the smart glass. So right now, what I'm wearing is a RealWear HMT1. So this is a smart glass provided by RealWear. We also have other smart glasses. So I have a smart glass available with me, which is basically a Vuzix M400. So it's a similar device. Again, the viewing, sorry, the other way around. So there is a small window which is available here where you can actually see the guided instructions. So that's what we are talking about here on this step. So right now, when I'll be conducting the inspection, I can see the step-by-step workflow instructions over here on this small little window. Right. So now, apart from that, if I encounter any issues, any step that I'm stuck on, I'll be able to call the expert. So this John inspector can call the expert. Tara is playing the role of an expert over here, and she'll be able to guide him over a video call, collaborate with him, tell him what needs to be done, share documents, instructions, etc. So all of this is possible via the video collaboration support. So now when John is at the inspection site, not only can he view the steps, he can also capture notes, capture information pertaining to the inspection that is getting conducted. He can record audio, take images, take videos, textual notes, etc. So there are multiple features that are available. And once that is done, once the evidence capturing process is completed, he can submit the inspection, he can complete the inspection workflow from his side. Now, all of this is possible in a offline mode, meaning if there is no to limited network connectivity at the inspection side, you can continue on with the inspection process without any difficulty. You can download the inspection in an offline environment onto your device and carry on with the inspection workflow. And once the connectivity is back, or once you're back in office, you can just sync the information back onto the application. So it really helps inspectors who work in remote locations primarily. So all of this is done and data is uploaded. Now Ashok is our auditor, so he'll be validating the information submitted by the inspector. And if in case he finds any discrepancies, he can assign it back to the inspector for a re-inspection. That's also a possibility in our workflow. If everything is as expected, you can generate a report, and this report generation can be done at multiple stages of the workflow. So this is easily configurable. This is one of the workflows that we have, but we can, modify it as per the customer requirement. So that's the user journey of various actors who are involved in CAP application. Thank you, Umar. I'll pass to Santosh now. He'll be talking about the architecture.
Thank you, Yuvika. So from architecture perspective, if you look at, we have a lot of components which are communicating with each other, whether it is smart glass to a web browser control communication, or let's say a mobile to web browser communication. So when this communication is happening, we are using the WebRTC protocol, which is an open standard of communication at these times. So there are two components which we use to bypass the limitations we face from the firewalls, and that is turn and stun server. So these services we use from Twilio. This is to bypass the firewall limitations. So once the communication takes place, the backend infrastructure which facilitates this whole communication and supports all these components is built on top of Google Cloud. And there we have multiple components. So the signaling server acts as, when we want to share the metadata between two peers, whether it is mobile or web, we share the IP address and other metadata details with each other that, okay, I want to communicate with you. This is my IP. Can we talk? So that signaling server facilitates that communication with the help of socket connections. Then we have the other component front end. So that means the user interface which you will see in the demo, that is built on top of App Engine, and we are using the Angular component. So that is there, which is supported by our backend API layer built on top of the .NET Core mechanism. So we are trying to rely more on the open source technologies. So Socket.io, the .NET Core, or the Turn and Stun server, which in turn uses the WebRTC protocol. So all of this is using the open source, tools we have available. Now, within the Google Cloud, we are using multiple services. One of them is Cloud Run. That Cloud Run is used as hosting environment for different components. Other than that, for persistent layer, we are using RDBMS database, which is MySQL in this case. When we are having this communication between these two components, whether it is mobile or web, all that communication related data is stored in memory, which is a Redis database, and all that data which is we are using during the communication, whether it is collecting the data from the field, recording the video calls, all of that getting stored in the blob storage, which is cloud storage layer of that. So because we are using open source technologies, we use couple of plugins in between to make sure that we are able to mix these recordings, keep these recordings for very long term. That is done by the typical infrastructure layer, which is compute engine. In between, if we see, we are providing support to various forms of data, whether it is image, video, and audio also. For audio, we are using speech-to-text API provided by Google Cloud itself. As we said, and as Yuvika said, that this is primarily built on top of Google Cloud at the moment, but that does not mean it is limited to Google Cloud only. We can any day move it to any other cloud as it demands, as it requires. So if we move next, Umang, so some of the components which I just explained, all of them were listed in the previous slide. So that's okay, Umang. We can move to next slide in technology stack there. So as you saw, Angular primarily used Angular on front end. For web application, .NET Core is used for API layer. MySQL is used for the persistence layer as database as storage layer, and all the mobile-based development is primarily happening on Android platform at the moment. We are using Kotlin to do that. Infrastructure layer is built on top of Google Cloud, and at the moment, because Google Chrome is widely used by almost 70-80% browsers, so we test or we do all the tests on Google Chrome, but again, it is open to other browsers also as it requires. On hardware front, we are providing support to HMT1, Realware 1, as well as Vuzix, which is not mentioned here. But if there are Android-based devices, we can always facilitate them. Other than that, we can also support tablets, phones, built on top of Android. On UX tool, we use the tools which are mentioned there, Sketch or XD from Adobe. Yeah, we are on the demo front, Yuvika.
Right. Among, if you can move to the next, thank you. So for today's demonstration, we will be following a structure. So basically what the scenario that we are trying to replicate today is since we are all working from home and in a remote setup, so that's why we thought of a use case wherein we are conducting home inspection and primarily collaborating with the expert. So I am playing the role of an inspector today, and Santosh will be playing the role of the expert as well as the administrator. So he'll be supporting me in conducting the home inspection. So we'll be inspecting my home today. So yeah, so the flow of our demo is going to be primarily we'll start with the CAP web portal where Santosh, as the administrator, he will configure some dynamic checklist. He will show you how the import function works, what is the process, and how easy and simple it is to create and configure a checklist. Then moving on, I will be collecting the evidences, starting with the RealWare device on different formats like images, audio, video, etc. And then I will remotely collaborate with Santosh. I'll seek for his help in conducting the inspection, and I'll move on to the mobile device. So we'll be showing both form factors today in the demo. And finally, there will be a report generation. So all of this can be synced back onto the web application and a report can be generated on top of that. So that's the agenda of our demo today. Moving to the next slide. Yeah, so this is a checklist for home inspection, which we got from the internet because what we primarily want to do is that showcase the scenario that we are inspecting a door in this home setup. And this is a checklist. This is an inspection checklist. There are certain parameters that I need to check on, and the same checklist we are going to replicate. We have replicated it on our web application, which Santosh will be probably configuring a little more to showcase how it works. Now to align on the terminology. So you'll see a lot of these terminologies like chapter, section, inspection attributes or fields. So just think of it as a book. So you have different chapters in a book, then you have different sections, and finally you have certain words in a book, right? So this is a way of creating the content. So our home inspection checklist is our chapter. Then, like for example, the door inspection. So we have categorized it into door inspection. So there is main door, bedroom door, etc. So the door, different types of door will become the section, and the attributes are the questions or the checklist parameters that we'll be checking. So that's the structure of our home inspection checklist. Right. So moving to the next slide. So can we start with the demo, Oman?
Yeah, absolutely. Please. It will be wonderful to see the demo. And
Right.
perhaps for that demo, the presentation rights have to be given to Santosh. If I could request that, Vasan.
Sure, sir. Just a minute. Uttam sir, can we shift the presentation rights to Mr. Santosh?
And while this is being done, uh, I think it's very important to recognize that you will using this combination of smart devices and how to operate these smart devices. You are empowering the workers now to be able to do many things. So Yuvika could do a home inspection because Santosh is the expert. He creates a checklist. But Yuvika could also tomorrow go into an industrial factory and do a machine inspection. If somebody can create a checklist for her of what she needs to go and check. Or she could go and do an inspection of a mall for fire exits, for example. So the same worker is then talented enough to be able to do multiple work items uh, because they are told step by step what they need to do and they can follow that digitally. Back to you, Santosh. Your screen is now shared.
Thank you, Umang. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. I'm just struggling with this WebEx, screen layout. We have this habit of working on Teams. So, thank you for that. So one of the reason why we chose the home inspection is for our audience, probably if we talk about some heavy industry-driven use case, people will not be able to relate it. So besides having been in the comfort of our homes, it was important that people relate to the inspection process. So what better than going through a typical home inspection scenario, which all of us do once a while. So here on my screen, if you see, I have already logged into the portal as admin, as you can see on the right here. And you can see some frequently done tasks listed over here for ease of use. And all the checklist components are visible in this dashboard. From here, we can see the users which are available or probably the inspectors who are doing the inspection at this moment of time. I don't see anybody at the moment, so probably we'll see them when they are logging. So normally the inspection process starts with checklist creation, right? So we have this checklist creation module, and this checklist creation module is very simple, and it is in fact configurable, and also it can be integrated with any external system, as Yuvika explained in the slide. So for the purpose of this demo, we have already put some data in the checklist so that we can fast forward this process. Otherwise, this demo itself will need 1 or probably 90 minutes. Right? To fast forward that, we have created some of the assets already here. And if I can explain you what Yuvika was explaining, so some of the fields, right? The chapters, we have a chapter called door inspection, and then we have sections called main door. So what that means is we are trying to conduct an inspection of main door, and some of the typical checks we want to do in the main door are listed over here. So what we want is our inspector to go check the main door, see all these items one by one, if they find all of them working in working condition. Right, this is on that. We can simply go, if I show you, for example, here is number of doors here. I'm just clicking on this one, and all these fields are listed here. if I simply want to create, let's say, another field after this one, I can just copy this one and I can just choose the door inspection segment here and I can just confirm it, right? So it will simply create a section for me, another field for me. So this is how easy it is to configure this field. So if I go back here and show you few another aspects of this checklist here. So if you see here, we just created a number of doors, copy one here within this one, right? So I would go one step further and show you how easy it is to integrate this CAP platform with any existing systems probably we will have in an industrial scenario. So what we can simply do is we can go and import a checklist, which I have already built for the purpose of this demo. So this is a checklist for us here. And when we create it, now we see that the data is imported. Now I'll go into the preview. So I'll show you here. If you see, we only had two sections here. Now we have the third one. Third one has the same set of fields which we have created. So this data comes from here, which I just showed you here. Do you see my Excel screen, or you just only see my
So
Chrome
no,
window?
we don't see
Oh,
anything at the
sorry.
moment.
Okay, okay, sorry. So do you see my Chrome window at the moment?
Yes, Chrome window is
Okay.
visible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So with the help of import, I just created imported a checklist which was available with us. So think of this scenario. If I want to integrate it with some external system, I'll simply use a REST-based API, pull in some data from their existing system, integrate this, and this is ready to go. This is how easy it is. So moving forward quickly, because I know it's we are running out of time. We have already created some set of checklists over here, which we can just show you. So for the purpose of this demo, we will conduct the inspection on the checklist ID number 14. So I'll go here, I'll show you, this is the checklist ID 14, and I am going to assign this checklist ID to our inspector at the moment on site. I'm hoping Yuvika is doing that right now. So, but why is it already assigned? Probably.
Yeah, Santosh, I already
Yeah,
assigned
it's already
this for
assigned. Yeah, sorry, I
safety.
didn't see that. It is already assigned. If you see here, it's already assigned. So that's here. So Yuvika, this inspection 14 number is already assigned to you. So can we see the inspection process on smart glass as well as on mobile?
Sure. Uh, uh, Dr. Vasan, if you can give me the presenter rights, I'll share my screen.
Sure, Yuvika. Uttam sir, we can make Yuvika ma'am the presenter. Ma'am, you are the presenter now.
Yuvika, you have the presentation rights, and we can see your screen now starting to share.
Thank you. All right, so as Santosh mentioned, it's inspection number, one second, let me just minimize this, yeah. Inspection number 14, which is assigned to me. And as you can already see that inspection ID number 14 is visible on my smart glass. So this is a screen mirroring of my what I can view on my smart glass currently. And that's this application is basically the actions that I can do on RealWare. So let me just probably just go back and show you what it essentially looks like. Navigate home, my programs. So this is my smart glass, and I can conduct anything on this hands-free just by using voice commands. So if I wish to open a particular application or anything on my that is installed on my app drawer, I can just use I can just open them using my using voice commands. So select item 5. So this is my CAP homepage. There are a lot of things that are available over here. I'll not go into the details, but maybe we can just start by conducting the inspection. 14. So everything works on voice command basis. Now, as I mentioned that to allow or to enable, conducting the inspection in an offline mode, we have a download feature. So essentially what the inspector needs to do is once he's at the site, you need to download the inspection onto the device, onto the smart glass, and then post that you can go in an offline mode. So I need to give the voice command download, download. Yes. So the inspection checklist is downloaded on my device now, and I can start conducting the inspection. Chapter 2. Yeah, so you can see all of those sections that Santosh was mentioning is available here. And I'll just directly probably jump on to the part where I can add evidences or conduct the inspection. Section 2. Yeah. So this is what you were seeing on the smart glass essentially. Item 1. Yeah. So this is these are the questions on my checklist. So I just need to give the voice command in order to move forward. As you can see, it is very easy to navigate through. I can just view it on my device and give my voice commands. Yes. Next. Yes. Next. No. Yeah. Home. Home. So my voice commands are getting captured. I can move on to, navigate through the through the checklist. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Section 3. Evidences. Item 3. Yeah. Now, if I wish to add, attach image or video-based evidences, also another feature which is available on the smart glass is quick help. So if in case I'm not aware or I don't remember what the voice command is, I just need to the voice command show help, show help. Yeah, so all the list of voice commands that need to be used on this particular page will be visible to me or available to me so that I can quickly refer to them and use the appropriate voice command. Hide help, capture media. So now in order to capture different types of media, this is the solution that is available. Add image. So since we are conducting a door inspection, I'll take an image of the latch. Take photo. Take photo. Yeah. So there are multiple options that are available even on this screen. I can zoom in if I want to, so that I can, take a closer picture if there's a bigger device or a larger device that I'm inspecting. I can get into the details, highlight or focus on a particular defect or deficiency that I have identified. Now, as you can see, there are all the images that I'm capturing are getting loaded over here. And once I'm done, I just need to give the voice command done. So which basically means that I'm done capturing the images. Now there is also a provision to add tags to the images. So which basically helps in the search feature. Right now I'll not do it, but essentially that feature is also available. No. Add video. So again, you can start recording a video, capture a video evidence as and when required. And there's also a flash capability. You can turn on the flash on. So you can see that the flash is on my device now. It is an inbuilt flash for poorly lit areas. Flash off. Start recording. Stop recording. So in this manner, my hands are free. I can conduct the inspection as and when as needed. Similarly, there is an audio note capability. Add audio note. So if I find any discrepancy in terms of, let's say, the sound that I need to capture or Additionally, if I want to capture remarks as audio notes, I don't have to type in anything. I can just essentially capture the remarks by giving a voice command or a voice note, and the same will be transcribed on the application. So if I want to document the summary of the inspection that I'm conducting, I can do that in an audio note format as well. Start recording. Defect identified on the latch of the door. Stop recording. Now this voice note will be available as a transcript as well on the application. Cancel. So that's how you capture evidences, and there's also a provision to see these evidences and delete them from the smart glass itself. So it's very straightforward, very easy to use. And once I'm done capturing the evidences, the inspection is completed from my side. I just need to sync the information. So home. Yeah. So you can see on top of over here, there are multiple options that are available. We'll not get into the details of everything, but there are a lot of operations. You can share data via Bluetooth. You can, sync information. You can call the expert. So call expert. I can just show you that, yeah, Santosh is the administrator. He's available. So if I require any help, I can place a video call and collaborate with him through the smart glass as well. But I'll be showing you the calling functionality from the mobile device. Navigate back. Sync. Yes. No. Oh, sorry. Sync. Yes. Yes. So you can see that the data is getting uploaded, and it will be available on my mobile device, which I'll just stop sharing and then share my screen of the mobile.
So the advantage that Yuvika is trying to show to us is even during the process, you can keep changing your devices. So when she needed to be hands-free and wanted her hands to be free, she was using a smart glass. And as soon as now she does not need to be hands-free, she can start using a mobile or a tablet, and all the data is synced up in real time. Back to you, Yuvika.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. So 1 second. Let me just. This is not. Just give me a minute. My gate.
Yeah, that's quite natural these days for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah. So you can see that the same checklist is available on my mobile device as well. So if you notice, the same inspection was assigned to 2 users. So what I did was I logged in on one device using one ID and the other device using the other ID. And the same operations are available on a mobile phone as well. So I'll just do a refresh so that I can ensure that the data that was synced from my smart glass is available here. So if you notice, the inspection is in progress now. You can see that it is in progress. Again, I need to do a download of the checklist on my device. And same thing applies here. I can go in an offline mode if required. I can do a resume of the operation. Let's say, half of the inspection was done by one inspector, the other section needs to be conducted by another inspector. So if there are multiple actors who are involved, this can easily be, worked in collaboration. So
Yuvika, just purely in interest of time, let's
sure.
just do a quick video call.
Video call, yeah, I'm moving to that.
Show how telestration and some of those advanced capabilities work with these devices.
Right. Right. So you can see that I can view all the online experts. This icon over here is what enables this, visibility of all the online experts. I can just place a video call to Santosh. And what I would request now is if you can give the control back to Santosh, then he can probably show his side of the screen and highlight some of these features.
Can the screen be shared? Dr. Vasan, can Santosh get the share rights?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Uttam sir, we can, Santosh sir is already a presenter.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I have the presenter right now. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Great. So as you can see, Yuvika as an inspector connected with me over the video call. I hear some echo. Maybe I need to please mute this one. So I need to mute one of them. So now you can see that the video call feed I am getting. So this is exactly the scenario where we see what inspector is seeing on their end. I can see. So in case I need to find something and suggest something during the video call itself, probably I can do that. So I can annotate, for example, I can take a picture and do some annotation. I can choose the color of my preference, what suits me. So I can send this snippet to Yuvika. Yuvika, did you receive the snippet? And
Yes.
yeah, I highlighted this doorknob.
Yes.
Is it functional? Does it work well?
Yeah, there is some problem here. It is getting stuck. It's not working very well.
The doorknob
Okay.
or the video?
The
So
video.
doorknob.
Sorry, the doorknob.
Okay, great. So Yuvika, let me take us. I'll save this snippet. Okay. Probably I'll see on my end if we have a quick workaround on this. So I'm saving this snippet on my side. While that's happening, probably as you can see, we can also do. We can also share PDFs snippet from here. We have option to see the PDF. For example, I have this home inspection guide, and if I want to explain it to my inspector that probably they need to focus on some of the areas during the inspection, I can just crop the respective segment from here, right? Choose the data or section I want to share and send the respective section. So Yuvika, did you receive the PDF document I just shared with you?
Received, Santosh. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So these are some of the feature, not limited to that only. We can also do recording also. So these recordings are, for future purpose, future reference. So in our presentation, we showed you that how these recording can help our training use case also. So some of these capabilities are built into the platform itself. This helps us, achieve, productivity gains, efficiency, and improves the whole experience of the communication between different actors over here.
Thank you, Santosh. And I think with that,
Yeah.
we will probably pause. We're slightly over time and want to leave some time for questions and answers. Uh, but in the end, hopefully the audience saw that how with some smarter devices, you can create a more resilient workforce, allow more complex applications to be done by workers who may not even be fully trained on it. And the experts can be anywhere around the world. In this particular case, Yuvika is in Gurgaon while Santosh is in Haldwani. So there is a few hundred kilometers distance between them. It could also have been few thousand. So with that, thank you very much. We are ready for questions. Dr. Vasan, it's back to you.
Thank you, sir. And it was a wonderful as well as informative session, which I'm sure has enlightened the participants about how smarter devices are actually making businesses more resilient in the present times. There are, yes, obviously certain questions which I will now take up with your permission. The first question we have: how much is this connected worker concept actually deployed in industrial worker in the remote places in India? And how do we see this deployment changing in the, let's say, near future, near upcoming 3 years or 5 years down the line?
It's a great question. I'll take that question. I think the way I will answer this question is in three parts. Um, Today, and the first part is with respect to India, since the question was with respect to India. I think we need to improve the productivity of our workforce significantly to be able to compete in the global ecosystem. And connected worker helps in improving that productivity and reducing the errors that typically happen in the manufacturing process. So in this context, this solution is extremely relevant for India. Uh, Today, its deployment within India is quite low. However, if I look at all the other ecosystems that we operate within, whether it is in Europe, in China, in ASEAN, or in United States, we see that adoption of these solutions is becoming very high. So, as India competes in a global ecosystem in manufacturing, my hope and expectation is that industry in India would adopt these solutions faster to become more and more competitive, and worker productivity is a key component of that productivity.
Absolutely right, sir. I would agree on that. The next question we have is, what are the security challenges in the connected worker ecosystem and how do we overcome these?
I'll invite my colleague Santosh to talk more about this, but a simple answer I'll give before Santosh takes over is there are no security challenges in this solution. This is a very strong and robust solution, and maybe my colleague here would explain all the security protocols which are coming into place in this solution. Over to you, Santosh.
Thanks, Umang. So, in terms of security, WebRTC takes care of all the communication between these two platforms, so these two peers, right? WebRTC is an open source framework which is supported by almost all browsers now. So they have a consortium. They act as a watchdog to see if they are compromising on security aspects. That is built into the architecture. Second is all communication between our devices and the service, the cloud service that is happening in HTTPS protocol. So that means the safety again, the SSL safety is again built in that. The data on, let's say, transit is saved by the encryption using the HTTPS protocol. But when we are storing it, it is strongly encrypted within the Google Cloud environment. So we are keeping all best practices in mind when we are putting this into implementation for any customer.
Okay. Thank you, Santosh sir, for the update. The next question we have is, we have seen a wonderful representation of how the controlling and auditing process can be carried across all use cases. But industry, especially in India, does it have this kind of generic controlling process to actually control, let's say, for example, inspection and audit, and in a similar manner across all varied industry? And will the worker at the end receive any benefits of the same?
Again, a very good question. Inspection and audit has to be a standardized method. If you are creating world-class products which are using global standards of manufacturing, you also have to provide global quality of those products. In order to provide global quality products, you have to ensure that each product is well tested, and inspection, quality checks, and audits is a part of that. So from that context, the solution is extremely relevant to Indian industry. Whether you use a mobile phone or a tablet or a smart glass is a choice based upon the use case that is there. The second part of the question was, I think, about do we see benefits to the worker? What would be the benefits to the worker? I think the benefits to the worker are in three parts. First, they can do their job faster, which means that their productivity is rising, which will improve perhaps their ability to improve their value to the company, which often then translates into wages. The second part that is there is workers can get multi-skilled, which means that as soon as you're starting getting multi-skilled, and reskilling becomes easier. So they can do multiple things. And again, they have a personal benefit from that. And the third part is as more and more workers are becoming younger and younger, as new generation of workers come in who are used to using mobile phones and tablets, they may find their job satisfaction to be much higher when they are using technology solutions which they are also using in their personal life. Imagine I use as a worker a phone in my personal life to buy and sell products, to engage digitally and socially on different platforms. But when I come to the workplace, I have to use paper and pen. How satisfied will I be as a worker? So for that job satisfaction also, as a worker, I would love an idea that what I use in my personal life, I can also bring that same level of engagement to my workplace.
Absolutely, sir. Very rightly said. And thank you so much for this wonderful session. I would now request Professor M.N. Huda, sir, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, to thank Mr. Umang Garg, sir, and his complete team for this wonderful session today, where we could actually see how things are being implemented. I would invite Professor M.N. Huda, sir, now.
Good evening to all of you. My apologies for not having joined at the time when you invited. I was right in the campus, but till almost 6:30, I was completely held up in some critical issues, and then finally I came to my cabin. But
Sir, you are not audible.
am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the topic was so interesting that it anyway was very passionate and very passion based for me, and that's what I keep on telling people, that we started close to 5 6 decades earlier from a small calculator. That we have come to a situation where we are talking of driverless smart cars. That is the kind of advancement which has happened. And certainly the use cases which we have discussed, particularly for smart classrooms, are going to be the new normal, are going to be the new order of the day. I think those who are teachers, those who are students, and we academic people need to explore more on this, because this is going to be the new normal in our day-to-day academic life. So thank you so much for giving these wonderful presentations. And I missed initial parts of the presentation, but I am sure that my all the participants must have enjoyed the presentations and must have got some fruitful input which will help them to transform their day-to-day experiences and their day-to-day activities. I'm thankful to my friend Ajay, who connected me with you all three. Mr. Umang was already there, we were connected, but then I was connected to Yuvika and Santosh. So, what a lovely interaction for use cases with the help of all you three, and that also demonstrated the teamwork, how people can collaborate sitting from different locations and then discuss the same topic. So, thank you so much. It was a wonderful experience for all of us. And this certification is not for the purpose of certification, it is for the purpose of a remembrance. When you see this certificate, it will remind you that all of us have been part of with you all as a valued speaker for this fantastic and such a knowledgeable webinar, which certainly has enriched every one of us. So thank you so much, all the best, and thank you so much to all the participants from different parts of the country. Wish you stay safe, stay healthy, stay vibrant, keep learning despite disruptions all around us. और अब देश खुल रहा है, बहुत सारे लोग बाहर ऑफिसेस ऑफलाइन, क्लासेस ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन अटेंड कर रहे हैं. मेरा ये कहना है कि 1 साल पहले मैं ये कहा करता था कि सब कुछ बंद हो गया है, घर से बैठकर काम करना है, घर से बाहर नहीं जाना है, और वो 2 पंक्तियां मैं कहता था कि वक्त नाजुक है, संभल संभल के रहिए, जब तक न हो बहुत ज़रूरी, घर के बाहर ना निकलिए. अब मैंने मॉडिफाई की हैं इन 2 पंक्तियों को, चूंकि देश खुल रहा और मैं देख रहा हूँ कि जो कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर चाहिए वो शायद हम बहुत सारे लोग भूल रहे हैं और हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि probably with this now it will continue like this. If we really want to make this reopening process as a more on a more sustainable path and want that it should continue, then we must follow the COVID appropriate behavior at least for a year ahead. And that's how I have modified my 2 lines written earlier, that ये pandemic का जमाना है, ये पैंडेमिक का जमाना है, न यूं मचल के चलिए। सब शहर में मार्केट में ऐसे आ रहे हैं जैसे सब नॉर्मल हो गया। अभी नॉर्मल हुआ नहीं, नॉर्मल की तरफ हम जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और फोर्थ वेव का खतरा भी थोड़ा 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 मंडला है। उसे डिनाई करने के लिए सिर्फ हम जबानों से कह के डिनाई नहीं कर सकते, कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर प्रोटोकॉल और ये स्मार्ट डिवाइसेस की फैसिलिटी लेके डिनाई कर सकते हैं। तो मॉडिफाई किया है कि ये पैंडेमिक का जमाना है, न यूं मचल के चलिए, लगी है पैरों में, लगी है पैरों में कोरोना की बेरियां, जरा संभल के चलिए। अभी धीरे 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 कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर के साथ चलें। थैंक यू सो मच एंड टू ऑल माय वैल्यूड स्पीकर्स, विल मीट अगेन।
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Dr. Ritika, there are other certifications.
Sir, it was in the same screen. Just a minute.
Oh yes, oh yes,
Yeah,
oh
yes.
yes.
Just a
So
minute.
Yeah,
ensure that the files are being emailed, right?
yeah.
Yes, sir. All the
As
files
usual.
will be emailed just in a while from now.
Okay.
So
In
this
fact,
is
Dr.
for-
Ritika
When I'm not able to join the initial part or maybe any webinar, Dr. Ritika enjoys all power of a director, and then he keeps she keeps exercising that.
And she does it very well.
No,
Oh
sir.
yes, oh yes, oh
I
yes.
would always love to work under your guidance.
That is the beauty of the team, and that is the beauty of the team in a sustainable manner.
Yes, sir.
So my second line of defense, third line of defense is ready, Ajay ji.
I know that. Yeah. Succession planning,
Thank you.
excellent.
Oh yes, oh yes. मैं सीएमएम वाला हूं ना, तो कंटीजेंसी प्लान पहले रखता हूं।
Superb.
सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग का टीचर था, सीएमएम का ट्रेनर था मैं, तो
Yeah.
सीएमएम तो ये सिखा देती है कि आपका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन एंड प्रोसेसेस इतने मैच्योर और स्ट्रांग होने चाहिए कि however big the contingency or emergency has arisen, you must be in a position to solve it and in the most mature way.
Right. No, absolute. Thank you, and you're great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We
Thank
have
you.
a certificate for Yuvika ma'am and Santosh sir also.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
So we'll meet again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And dear
Thank you,
participants,
everybody.
the room is converted to a facilitation desk. Dr. Ritika and entire team will take care of you for your certification.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Oda. Very nice meeting you.
It's my pleasure. We'll meet again.
Be safe. Yes.
Thank you so much, Umang sir, Yuvika ma'am, and Santosh sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session today.